This cake is 15 years in the making, has been stressing me out for literal weeks, and has more math involved than I have ever done on a cake. So buckle up and let's crack open a cold dew because I'm gonna need it. Just kidding, I don't even like Mountain Dew, but I'm gonna need something to help me get this cake finished. This cake was for one of my childhood friends' dad who is absolutely obsessed with Mountain Dew. I started decorating cakes for friends and family when I was in elementary school, and he always joked that he wanted a 3D replica of a Mountain Dew can and that he wanted the cake to be Mountain Dew flavored as well. I think I was probably around 12 or 13 when I tried to make this cake for him for the first time, and at that point in my life, my knowledge of cake decorating came exclusively from Cake Boss and the Food Network, so I definitely did not understand how to make a cake structural. I knew that I needed a center support for the cake, so my dad made me a wooden cake board with a dowel that sat down in a hole on the board, but the center support wasn't actually attached to anything, so needless to say, the entire cake ended up on our kitchen floor. So he did not end up with the Mountain Dew cake that year, but this year he was turning 60, and my friend reached out and said that it was finally time to get him the Mountain Dew cake of his dreams. She decided against the Mountain Dew flavor and just went with our birthday cake instead, so it was mostly the Mountain Dew cake of his dreams. I know that I am a far more capable decorator now than I was when I was 12, and that I have the skills to do a cake like this, but I was still so stressed out about it, and it was giving me so much PTSD from the last time I did this cake. Here's some proof that this cake was properly doweled. I even put 2 in it because stress. Since this cake has just been such a joke for the last 15 years and it's had so much buildup, I knew that I had to make everything absolutely perfect. So my perfectionist decorator brain decided that everything had to be absolutely perfect to scale with a normal sized pop can. I showed a clip at the beginning of the video of my math note paper of all the different sizes and dimensions of everything, and it was so much, and I worked out so many different size ratios based on how many servings they needed, and I wanted to make sure it wasn't too big or too small for what they needed. But if anyone's curious, the cake is 175% bigger than a normal sized pop can, so whatever that means to anyone. But when they say to pay attention in math class, pay attention in math class, because you don't know when you're going to make a random Mountain Dew cake and you're going to need it, okay? And don't come for me if I said that wrong with the size ratio. I don't know what I'm doing. I just decorate cakes, okay? It ended up being a ratio bigger than the normal size cake, and it was all equal. So that's all that mattered. I was actually very good at math in high school, but it's impressive how fast you lose that knowledge when you're not using it all the time. I didn't want to use an edible image and print anything on this cake, so I went through and hand painted or hand cut all of the details and design on this cake. So it was really tedious, but I think it definitely paid out in the end. I also wanted a little more stability around the base of the cake, so I put a band of buttercream around it and then covered it in rock candy to make it look like crushed ice around it, and I just think it was a really cool detail on the cake. And here's the final result of the cake after 2 attempts, weeks of stress, and literal days of my life spent on this cake.